following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello, and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show, brought to you by Hoop Ball. My name is Adrian Benjamins, and I'm joined by Neil Rochlani. Neil, how are you, brother?
Doing well, my friend. Big Monday night here in the association. I think we have 9 or 10 games to talk about. Curious to get your takes on a lot of these big lines we're seeing tonight, Adrian. A lot of guys are starting to emerge as pickups. I can't wait to talk about them with you.
Yeah, it's Neil, it's a real confusing time because you got some guys that are struggling that you don't want to drop. You kind of want to see it works out. But then you got these guys, as you mentioned, that are emerging as pickups. And there's a giant gray area there that even for me, Neil, my head spins and I get dizzy from trying to figure it out. It's like a crazy puzzle. But before we get into it, guys, we want to mention the premium in-season membership has been dropped to $25 for November. There's a 20% sale running for the next week. Plus, there's additional $3 coupons on top of that you can use. So that means you can get the in-season membership for $17, guys. Neil, I don't have a coupon code. Do you got a coupon code that they can use?
You have a coupon code. I think yours is SPIDA.
Oh,
SPIDA.
I'll tell you what.
Don't use that one. You want to use Neil, Neil.
Yes, because let me tell you why we need to use Neil, because I got my code weeks after you guys. So I'm already behind the race. I'm already out of the running. You guys use coupon code Neil. And man, you guys, the in-season membership for the rest of the year for $17. I promise you guys that cost alone is worth it for the pickup of the night information that's out every single night. Just for that alone, it's worth the price. Not even talking about all the other stuff that's in there. So you guys go get the in-season membership. We're only 4 weeks into a 25-week season, so you guys are getting a great deal.
Yeah, and there's one other promotion. I don't know if anyone here is listening new to the DFS world, but if you are not a DraftKings user right now and you go in and sign up to DraftKings and you deposit $10 or more, you get this free as well. So if you're thinking about diving into DFS and go to DraftKings, start up a thing for $10, and then it'll be a opportunity to get all our premium content for the rest of the year free. With that said, what's on your mind tonight, Adrian?
Oh, man, I think we got so much to talk about. Who cares what's on my mind? I got boring stuff in my head. Let's jump into these games, Neil. Let's get our hands dirty right now, man. We got some work to do. Where should we start?
Well, we had a thriller let's start with the first. There's so many to start with. I was going to say Houston, Indiana. That one is the one I think that ended the first game.
Houston, Indiana. All right, I'm pulling it up. You got to go first last night. I'm going to go first tonight, and I'm going to pick the Pacers, man. Victor Oladipo really, after somewhat of a slow start, really turning it around with 28 points. Didn't have a defensive stat, which is kind of disappointing, but 2 assists, 6 rebounds, 4 threes tonight, 2 of 2 from the line, 11 of 21 from the field. Nice game from him. Thad Young, a little disappointing with only 8 points, but he did also add 11 rebounds, 1 assist. And the main key, I think, here, Neil, is the 30 minutes. So you love to see that from Thad Young. Bogdanovich, Neil, a guy I've seen on a lot of wires. I think if you need some help in threes and points, probably worth owning, and especially in deeper 14-team leagues. 11 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. Only had a 3 tonight, but usually is really helpful in that category. 2 of 6 from the field, 6 of 9 from the line. It's a good game from him. Darren Collison with 8 points, 2 assists, a rebound. Little disappointing here, but the minutes look good. He should bounce back. He'll be fine. Miles Turner, Neil. I love the 3 blocks. Has been great in that category, but only 7 points. Played 23 minutes. They went with Sabonis down the stretch here, who played 30 minutes and had a really good game of 17 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. Sabonis shot 7 of 9 from the field, 3 of 4 from the line. He's been really coming on, and he's been hurting Miles Turner, man. So this is a bummer if you're a Miles Turner owner. Tyreke Evans, only 16 minutes, put up 11 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. Not too much else to talk about here. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Pacers?
Turner certainly a disappointment. Again, it's interesting how we'll see if he recovers, if he goes on again to have a bad year, if the veneer finally wears off on him. I'm a little more down on Collison than you. I don't know if he's ownable, rosterable in 12-team leagues. I think he's right on the cusp. He's going to have some nights like this, and he's had more than a few. He's had a few good nights, definitely worth starting, but I dropped him, and I'm not regretting it just yet. In my 12-team league. Let's see. Like you said, Bojan Bogdanovic, good for threes and points. Generally tonight just 11 points, but he can knock down several threes. Took 4 tonight. And then another disappointment is Tyreke Evans, just 16 minutes. Only had but he was not in foul trouble, I don't think. He didn't have a single foul, so just not useful in this game. So I think what my takeaway is Sabonis, if you can get him for cheap, get him if people are not crazy about him. But I think he might actually be more valuable than Turner. Is that crazy to say or what?
No, I'm still, Turner is looking like more of a roto league guy. He's his value is really in his I guess it's clear now he's never going to get the big popcorn stats. He's never going to have those giant 30-point games. But the blocks are there, usually a low turnover guy. So I think, Turner will still finish the year ahead of Sabonis, but I see what you mean as far as, man, like Sabonis, his line like it did tonight just kind of pops out at you. But I still think Miles Turner is going to be, I'm hoping he can finish near that 50 range in 9-cat leagues. And, as I said, his value is going to be a little more sneaky. But yeah, man, Sabonis must own guy. I actually drafted him in a few leagues with my last pick, and I'm really excited about Sabonis. All right, Neil, should we move on to the next team?
Yeah, let's go to the Houston side. They get the win. 98-94, and I don't know if you're listening to Dan's show today. He actually recommended Houston as a bet, as a +1 favorite or underdog, and they won on the road. I thought that was a gutsy call. Anyway, led by James Harden, played 35 minutes, 28 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 9 of 9 from the line, 5 3-pointers, 3 steals, and a block. This guy is not Stephen Curry, but he's quite good. Secondly on this team, Capella, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist. Made both his free throws. He just got a single block. Chris Paul, great night of assists, scoring 9 points, 5 rebounds, 13 assists. Missed all his 3-pointers, did have a steal. Carmelo off the bench had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. I'm still not drawn to him as a fantasy asset in 12-team leagues. The other starters are also marginal as well. James Ennis, the third, and P.J. Tucker. Enes, 13 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, 5 of 7. Only took 7 shots, a steal. And then Tucker took 9 shots, made 3 of them, 9, 5, and 0, and 2 steals. I mean, he's a decent 3-and-D guy. He will usually get used, let's see, this year he's averaging 1.9 steals. And I think he's getting maybe a couple threes a game. So not a bad 3-and-D guy if you need someone there, but he's going to be, other than that, he's going to be pretty disappointing if you own him. Any thoughts from you on Houston?
Just want to note that no Eric Gordon for I believe the second game in a row. Looks like he's sidelined with an abductor strain. So it doesn't sound serious, but we know Eric Gordon has had a lot of health issues. So I don't know, man. Maybe we see him miss a little bit of time here. So just interesting to keep an eye on that. And that's all I got, Neil.
Yeah, good point. I forgot that he was out for the second game in a row. He's someone that I don't really gravitate towards anyway. But yes, he is someone who's usually owned in most leagues.
All right, let's move on. Where should we go next, man?
Let's go to. I got Cleveland to Orlando as the next game.
All right, I'm gonna jump into it. I'm gonna get into Cleveland. Save Orlando for you. Orlando getting the win in this one too, 102-100. It's a pretty nice game. And Neil, I am ashamed to say that I picked up Tristan Thompson in some deep leagues, and I'm streaming him. And it paid off for me tonight, though, man. 19 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, a block. I think I'm playing him in the Hoopball Staff League this week, so I hope he can keep this up. 9-12 from the field is beautiful, so take that. Cedi Osman, 11 points, 10 rebounds, didn't have a defensive stat, 5 of 17, man. Did not shoot well tonight. I try to look at the bright side, though, and he got the most shots on this team. I think that could be a good sign going forward. Took 9 threes tonight, only made 1, so hopefully he can shoot better. Beautiful game from George Hill tonight. 22 points, 4 steals, 6 assists, 2-2 from downtown, 10-12 from the field. It's a nice game from Hill. Rodney Hood, a guy I'm streaming in some deep leagues as well, only 11 points. Didn't do too much else in the stat core. In the other stats, did have a 3, 4 of 7 from the field, 2-2 from the line. We'll take that. Sam Decker filling in for Kevin Love. Only played 14 minutes. I believe he left this game with an injury, so keep an eye on that situation. Jordan Clarkson came up big off the bench with 14 points, a steal, an assist, 3 threes is nice, shot 5 of 10. We'll take that. J.R. Smith, Neil, a guy who wasn't even in the rotation at the start of the year, 25 minutes tonight with 14 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. Yeah, I believe this is like the second game in a row that he put up a decent line. Starting to wonder in these like deep 14-team leagues if he could be worth a pickup. I say, if you got dead weight, make the switch. If not, let's keep an eye. Let's see if he can do this for one more game. Colin Sexton, disappointing 17 minutes from him. Only 5 points to go along with 2 assists. Didn't do much. Larry Nance, a goose egg in 14 minutes. Didn't have a point. Did have a steal, 2 assists, and 5 rebounds. But really hoping Larry Nance can get going, man. And Kyle Korver, I hear he's on the trade block. Only 4 minutes, put up 2 points. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Cleveland Cavs, man?
Yeah, this one's hard this team's hard to read because we thought it was going to be Love, and then who knew else who's going to be good. I had the fantasy that once Love unfortunately got injured again, that Larry Nance Jr. is going to be his team, and clearly that is not the case. It's not even his bench. He's not doing anything. I own him in a league, and it's a 14-team league, so I'm probably going to hold on to him. But he's been very disappointing this year. Same with, I would say, Sexton. I thought he might start to emerge once it looked like this team is going nowhere. But I guess the new regime has decided to go with Hill and Thompson. And Decker, like you said, he rolled his ankle, left the game early. Keep an eye on that. And Clarkson, and now J.R. Smith, who I think just like 3 days ago said he wanted to be out of there. So it's a crazy world we're living in. But anyway, not too much to take away from this, except I really don't trust anyone. I mean, I think it's great you stream Tristan Thompson. I mean, I think he could be just fine. I think I would trust him and actually George Hill. Not that they're going to be good, but I'd trust their minutes at least. So
it was a desperation move in a couple leagues where I had to dump some dead weight. He was like the only thing available. But I'll tell you what, Neil, it sounds like Decker could miss a little bit of time here. So now no Love, no Decker. I don't know if Larry Nance is just not ready yet. So I think at least for the short term, man, we got to pick up Tristan Thompson. I mean, this is what he's capable of doing, a big double-double, shot really nice from the field tonight, 9-12. So helping your field goal percentage, rebounds, points, usually is good for maybe a block or so. So I don't know, man. In deep leagues, I would pick up Tristan Thompson. All right, Neil, take us into the next. I also
trust Osman as well. Tonight had a rough shooting night, but I trust him as a guy on a roster. Okay, Orlando, as you mentioned, gets the win with 102-101. Vucevic, just another solid night. 14 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, a steal and 2 blocks. Aaron Gordon had a solid night. 23 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 of 4 from three-point land, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. DJ Augustine, he had a great night. I think it was last night. Tonight, back to earth. 7 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. This was pretty predictable. 4 of 4 from the line, though, and 2 steals. Evan Fournier had a great night, or solid night. 15 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists. Only shot 5 of 15. Did have 3 steals and a block, along with 2 3-pointers. Off the bench, I really like Terrence Ross as a streamer in deeper leagues. 15 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, getting 30 minutes. He's out there so in a lot of leagues, 1 steal. And then the guy I always try to say last, I can't pronounce his name. I'll just call him Wes. Wes only had 13 minutes, 4 points, 1 rebound. So he's not really – he's starting, but he's not really worth owning in anything less than 16-team leagues, even if that. So I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to balance on a late-round point guard, as we talked about yesterday, Augustine – you're going to have nights like this, and then you won't start them, and they'll have good nights. It's just one of those things where you have to just stick with it if you pick a guy. Mo Bamba did get 20 minutes again. So perhaps if Vucevic ever gets moved, he might be worth owning. But right now he's still not doing too much fantasy-wise. Oh, yeah, and Isaac's still out, so we got to mention that.
Man, the Isaac injury is a real bummer. I'm seeing him hit the wire in a lot of standard leagues, and really disappointing. I'm sticking with him, though, Neil, but very disappointing. And then not too much to add. I love your Terrence Ross take. Saw 30 minutes tonight. Saw more minutes than some of the starters tonight, and I think he's the guy to pick up, especially if you need points, man. Took 14 shots tonight. So most nights, man, the scoring will definitely be there. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's keep rolling. Where should we go next, man? I don't have the games in order. That's why I keep asking you where we should go.
Well, I just have them in order on the app I'm looking at, so I don't even know how real it is. But, there was a thriller in the Madison Square Garden involving the Bulls and the Knicks. I'm sure about 5 people cared about it. The Bulls won 116-115 in double overtime. Did you see the score?
You know what? Get it. Let me pull it up. Why don't you get in this game first?
All right, I'll take the winning side. Chicago wins it in double overtime. A lot of big minutes here. LaVine played 49 minutes. Justin Holiday played 47 minutes. I'll start with LaVine, though. 41 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 25 shots, 4 3-pointers, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. This guy is producing on a fantasy level that if you drafted him, you are loving. He is somewhere in the top 20, I believe. Justin Holiday, I don't know why I'm going to him second, but I am because he played the second most minutes. 47 minutes, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Horrible night shooting, 2 of 10, 3 steals. Jabari Parker, I've seen him dropped in some leagues. Pick him up. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. Wendell Carter Jr. looks like he fouled out. Yes, but can't blame that on double overtime game. 11 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists. Perfect from the line, 4-4, a 3-pointer, 2 blocks. And then Cameron Payne in 41 minutes, just 2 assists. Did get 8 points and 3 rebounds. Missed his free throw and got a block. Off the bench, really a lot of spreading out of the minutes. Blakeney is probably the most or the highest stat line with 17 points and a rebound. I'm not still trusting too many Bulls. I think Wendell Carter, you love him if you have him. Cameron Payne, stay away from him. Zach LaVine is not going to drop off, but he's not going to drop off from this much use. Well, from putting up gaudy lines, he will drop off a little bit though when marketing gets back. And Jabari Parker, I think if someone did drop him because he had some bad games, I think he's worth owning. What are your thoughts, Adrian?
Well, my thoughts, Neil, is I got to tell you about a bonehead move that I pulled in my home league. I like to talk about things that I got right. Let me tell you about something I got wrong. In round 8 of my home league draft, I went up to the board to make my choice. I was choosing between Kyle Anderson and Wendell Carter Jr. and I went with Kyle Anderson, and I hate myself, Neil. I would just want to punch myself in the face because Wendell Carter Jr., even though he fouled out with 22 minutes, he's been great. Still got a double-double with 2 blocks. So he's been amazing, man. I think he is going to be amazing for the rest of the year. And then Zach LaVine, man, 41 points. I believe it was his career high. Just putting up some huge numbers. And 25 shots tonight. His usage rate is off the charts. And, man, he's going to be great all year. That's all I got, Neil.
Yeah, I wish I would have drafted him too. Well, this Portis injury opened up a avenue for him. I don't think Portis is going to get this back. I don't think the fans want him to get it back at least, and he's not helping them win. So it'd be great to see him out there with Markkanen and LaVine. What's that?
Let's not forget, as you just mentioned, Markkanen's coming back too. So I definitely think, I get asked a lot, should I pick up Bobby Portis? And by the time he gets back, Markkanen could be really close to a return. And I think it's going to be Markkanen and Wendell Carter Jr. for the rest of the year in that front court. So anyways, all right, I want to move on to the Knicks, Neil, and a guy I got to talk about, Alonzo Trier. We talked about this guy a lot on the show, Neil, and, didn't shoot well tonight, only 5 of 15, but did have 21 points, 2 steals, a block, 3 rebounds. This guy is so aggressive. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to watch him, Neil. He is explosive, and he's fast, and he's aggressive. He's not scared at all. And Neil led the team in minutes tonight with 42 minutes. I think he needs to get picked up everywhere. This team's going to be going youth. I think, as I mentioned on the last show, he's a part of that group. No Tim Hardaway Jr. tonight. So we're seeing him and some of the wing guys get extended run, like Mario Hezonja got 36 minutes tonight, 15 points, a block, a steal, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. Really nice game from Mario, but I think Hardaway Jr. will probably be back in the lineup soon. Dotson's the guy who's been flirting with some value here. 18 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 threes tonight. It's a pretty good game from him. Noah Vonleh, another guy who I've been tempted to grab in some leagues, and 35 minutes tonight, 10 points, 11 rebounds, a steal, 2 blocks. It's a pretty nice game from Vonleh. Even added a 3. Didn't shoot too well from the field, only 3 of 10, but man, I got my eye on Vonleh. Ntilikina, not happening tonight, was 0 of 6 in 16 minutes. And one scary thing about him, Neil, is Moutier's back. And Moutier got 34 minutes, put up 16 points and 6 rebounds, 2 assists, had a 3. Neil, this team is so... I can't figure out this team, man. I can't wrap my head at it. It's like every time I think it's going to be this guy like Frank Ntilikina, it ends up being Moutier. Then when I think it's going to be, someone like Mitchell Robinson, it ends up being like Noah Vonleh. So, I don't know, man. One last guy I want to mention real quick, Enes Kanter. A lot of buzz that he was really disappointed about losing his starting gig. He responded tonight with a big double-double. 23 points, 24 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal. Hey, who cares? If this guy's going to get 41 minutes, which I don't think he's going to get 41 minutes regularly, but if he's going to get starter minutes coming off the bench, don't give up on Enes Kanter. Keep him locked and loaded. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Knicks, man?
The Knicks, like you said, there's a lot of names here and a lot of just random stats each night. I thought Mitchell Robinson, he got in foul trouble tonight, so maybe we'll see if he can rebound. But just 11 minutes. Ntilikina was a minus 17, the plus minus. Only played 16 minutes, looked pretty ineffectual. So you saw guys like Burke get more minutes. And Moutier's, like you said, 34 minutes. Hezonja got 36 minutes. I wouldn't trust any of these numbers. I don't want to say no Knicks allowed to try to mimic someone I know on this love in this world. But besides Kanter, I don't think I'd want to really own anyone. I mean, maybe deeper leagues. Yes, deeper leagues for sure. Trier, I think, has emerged, and maybe Damian Dotson, and perhaps Vonleh. But, gosh, this one's really hard. I mean, Kevin Knox did come back, got 5 minutes tonight. off the bench. I mean, maybe you want to stash him and see if it works out. I don't know where they're going on the point guard from night to night. I don't know where they're going on the wing from night to night. I don't know where they're going on the center from night to night. Yeah, I'm all out.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad that you mentioned Knox. I didn't even mention Knox. They're going to be working him in slowly. Only saw 5 minutes because he's coming back from the ankle injury. So let's not forget, man. They're going to be ramping him up every game. So again, this is going to hurt guys like Vonleh. And so as you said, man, I just can't wrap my head around this team, man. I can't make sense of it.
I forgot one guy. Tim Hardaway Jr. was out tonight with an injury. He is another guy I wouldn't want to own or have shares of, I should say. Hardaway Jr. and Kanter. Other than that, it's really, I mean, you can pick a guy up and just kind of watch and see where they go if you have dead weight. But I would not say Ntilikina. I wouldn't say Moody or Hazonia either. I guess I would either go Trier or Dotson and to see if one of those two emerges as a good wing. I don't know. Go ahead.
It sounds like Tim Hardaway Jr. was close to playing in this one, so I'm not expecting him to miss too much time. So, like, for me, I'm completely ignoring what Mario Hazonia did tonight. I think, that's just like fool's gold there because no Tim Hardaway Jr. All right, man. Shall we move on?
We shall. Let's go to Oklahoma City, New Orleans. I'm going to take New Orleans because I like Anthony Davis an awful lot, and I have him in 2 leagues. Unfortunately, I don't know. Oklahoma City is so hard to know who's going to show up each night. Tonight they won 122 to 116. Anthony Davis looks just fine. 38 minutes, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. Did not shoot well, though. 7 to 20, 6 to 7 from the line, and just a block. So very kind of a low night for him, but not a bad line. Mirotic, 16 and 16. That's crazy. And a 3-pointer, 2 steals. Drew Holiday, a monster night, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 14 assists, 3-pointer, and a block. Ian Clark gets 32 minutes off the bench, goes for 10, 2, and 3 with 2 steals. Etwan Moore just played 16 minutes. I have to check to see if something happened to him. Only had 1 foul, but just had 4 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. I don't trust him. I know a lot of people like to have him as your last guy on your roster. It's just there's so many other guys there, and I think I don't know when their point guard's coming back, Peyton, but I think he'll be back eventually, and that might take into his usage as well. Wes Johnson started at forward, didn't really do anything worth mentioning. And then off the bench, their big guy, Julius Randle, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 10 for 10 shooting, 4 for 4 from the line, including 2 3-pointers, a steal, and 2 blocks. A fantastic night from him, and they still came up short. Julius Randle, it's really good to see him playing well over there. I didn't know how he's going to fit into this rotation. He's shooting free throw percentage around 70%, so it's not killing you. He's shooting 50% from the field, so defensive stats aren't bad, 0.8, 0.6. I'm still not picking him up, but if you own him, I think he's doing okay. Davis will have better games. And besides Davis and Mirotic and Holiday, it's tough for me to really want to have any of these guys, besides, of course, Randall. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, Neil, are that I wish I was higher on Mirotic coming into this season, man. Neil, he's currently putting up second round value in 9 category leagues, currently ranked as the 17th player. Neil, every time he has a big game, I think, that's kind of fluky. Yeah, he's going to be good, but he's not going to be that good. And then he turns around and he has a game like today, 16 and 16 with 2 steals. It's just ridiculous. And I think he's locked and loaded for the rest of the season. Man, I really wish I was higher on him. And then lastly, really nice to have Anthony Davis back. I know, as you mentioned, with his high standards, it feels like a disappointing game, but I love that he played 38 minutes, showing that he wasn't limited or they're not worried about his injury at all. So hopefully he can just get back to being the best player in fantasy. All right, Neil, I'm going to jump in. Oh, one last thing. Sounds like Elfrid Payton is about a week away. Think it's possible we see him at the end of this week. So hang tight if you have Payton. And I'm going to jump into the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I'm going to start with Russell Westbrook, who left this game with an ankle injury. I'm hearing that he took x-rays that came back negative. So let's hope that it's not an issue. Still played 25 minutes and still had a decent line with 17 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. Didn't have a three, didn't shoot too well, 6 of 16 from the field, but we'll take that from him. Paul George with 23 points, 4 steals, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 4 threes, 7 of 7 from the line. This is what we love to see from Paul George, filling it up. Steven Adams with a nice game here. 18 points, a block, a steal, an assist, 8 rebounds, 9 and 12 from the field. Happy with that line. Neil, I'm streaming Jeremy Grant in a few leagues. I picked him up like off the wire. 13 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, 6 rebounds. Didn't shoot too well, only 5 of 12 from the field, 0 of 3 from downtown, 3 of 4 from the line, but I'll take that. I'll take that production. Big line from Schroeder off of the bench. In 24 minutes, he had 22 points, a steal, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. He added a 3, perfect 3 of 3 from the line, 9 of 16 from the field. Pretty good game from Schroeder. Not too much else here to talk about. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Thunder, man?
I mean, the biggest concern is Westbrook. How long is he going to be out for? And is Schroeder worth picking up? If he's still out there in your league, that is. Watch that. Maybe he's streamable, but then again, he might go back to not a great fantasy player once Westbrook comes back, assuming he's even out. And then Grant's, I mean, you expect to get a better field goal percentage from him, but he is getting defensive stats, over steal, over a block a game, can knock down a 3, can get you low teens in the points and pretty good rebounds. So not a bad streamer. See if he develops into something more of a regular fantasy rotation player. So those are 2 guys I'm watching. And then Alex Abrinas, even off the 30 minutes tonight, really didn't put up anything worth noting. Talking about. He's not someone who's ever really has the fantasy stat set, even in high minutes.
All right,
let's go on to next game.
Yeah, let's do it. Where are we going?
We're going to Denver, and the Boston Celtics fall to Denver Nuggets 107-115. I'll do Boston because I like talking about 30 different guys. Okay, first of all. Let's start with I don't want to make fun of that. I don't want to make fun of this trade anymore. Kyrie Irving goes for 31 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 13 of 17 shooting. They still lose. 3 steals and a block. 4 3-pointers. Monster night though for him. Solid night from Al Horford, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 of 9 shooting, and a steal. Jason Tatum, decent, but you're kind of hoping for more if you own him. 15 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. Did shoot 4 for 4 from the line, has a steal and 2 blocks. Gordon Hayward seems he has more games in the single digits than double digits. 8 points tonight, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Just took 7 shots, made 3 of them. No defensive stats. Very much a low-end starter at this point. We'll see if that changes as I don't know how many games it takes in a game shape, Adrian, but it's taken him more than I thought, at least in terms of fantasy value. Jaylen Brown is back. Played 29 minutes, 15 points, 4 rebounds, no assists, and a steal. Off the bench, Marcus Morris played 20 minutes, went 6-6-1. Not worth really starting when all the starters are all there. Same with Terry Rozier, played 22 minutes, not much of a line. Marcus Smart tonight did not kill you in percentages, but just had 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Did have a great defensive night, though, 2 steals and 4 blocks. So that is very useful, but sometimes hard to predict. Like we had talked about at the beginning of the season, even getting 35 minutes for Tatum, 33 for Horford, those guys did not put up great lines. Hayward in 26 minutes put up a really just mediocre line at best, and that's being generous to him. Kyrie, though, whoever your friend who got him must be smiling because he is just back where we thought Kyrie would be. This guy is an elite offensive point guard. When
my friend traded Kyrie, I was like, what are you thinking? And he was like, he just hasn't been good. I'm just worried he's going to be a disappointment. And ever since he made that trade, Kyrie has been on fire. And I was trying to tell my buddy that, hey, man, look, we're 5 games into the season. Like, don't freak out. Don't trade a player that you took with your 15th overall pick for a guy that somebody else drafted like in the second half of the draft. It's just craziness, Neil. I just want to like scream, man. And I don't know, man. Anyways, I'm fairly happy, Neil, that I avoided this team. Other than Kyrie, who we felt Kyrie was going to be pretty safe, just because he is so ball dominant. So it always felt like he was going to be okay, but. I feel like we were right on in the preseason with our analysis of these guys are going to all kind of cancel each other out. Just too many mouths to feed. All right, Neil, I'm going to go over to the Denver Nuggets, and I got to start with Jamal Murray. My goodness, he went supernova tonight. 48 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 threes, 5 of 5 from the line. Neil, he took 30 shots tonight. 19 from 30 from the field. He must have had a crazy green light because he was firing away. Gary Harris with 13 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 of 13 from the field, 1 3, 4 of 4. Paul Millsap, man, it's been a little disappointing from him. 10 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, a block. We'll take that. Jokic with the quiet line here, still flirting with the triple-double with 8 points, 8 assists, and 10 rebounds. So still a nice line, but didn't have any defensive stats, didn't have a 3, only took 3 shots in this game. Wow, man, he really deferred in this one. Not too much on the bench to talk about. Trey Lyles with 13 points. Not a lot else here. Neil, one last thought before I hand it over to you. The Nuggets 8-1 to start this year, man. Really good start from them. What are your thoughts on this team?
Well, as someone who owns Jokic in the league, I mean, I gotta tweet at Jamal Murray and say, give my boy Jokic some more shots. You can't take 10 times as many shots as Jokic. It's just not. What kind of world are we living in? Yeah, I still don't know what's going on with. So did Torrey Craig get hurt? He played 3 minutes in starting. He must have got hurt, but he wasn't really fantasy relevant to begin with. Hernan Gomez got 24 minutes and Lyles got 23, like you said. Malik Beasley with 22, all putting up not bad lines, but nothing really great. Yeah, this is kind of like they're kind of like Boston in the sense they have a lot of depth and. They share the ball a lot, but for some reason their fantasy values are just much higher among their top guys. And it's great to see Murray, have this breakout game. He's a future star in this league, if not already a star. So Denver's got a solid team, man. And if Michael Porter ever gets healthy, I don't think he's going to play this year, but he's someone to look for down the road, both in reality and fantasy.
Hey, let me ask you something, Neil. Mm-hmm. After this ginormous game from Jamal Murray, would you consider selling high on him? I mean, we haven't seen Isaiah Thomas back yet or in this lineup yet, or are you not even worried about Isaiah Thomas? Or do you just think that Jamal Murray is just locked and loaded? We don't even just stick with him? Or would you consider selling high on him right now?
I mean, I'm always up for selling high if you can get something better, but I think it's hard just to sell off one good game. You know what I mean? Like if it's like the first 2 or 3 games of the season, maybe. But now that we're like a dozen games or about 10 games in, he's had enough of just sort of like consistently good nights, but not great nights, that I think it'll be hard to get like second round value for him. But yeah, I think if you could, I would sell high. I do think he's going to have solid nights. I mean, he wasn't going against Kyrie, who isn't known for his defensive ability or effort. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
All right, we got I think one more game for the two of us before we close out. Toronto, Utah. Talk about teams that are off to a hard start. My God, the Raptors. Kawhi Leonard. I guess probably the big news is Kawhi Leonard sat for the second night in a row. We knew he was going to be off on back-to-backs, at least one night, not two, just dealing with that knee. And I think it's a knee, just kind of resting it. So Utah was without Mitchell, so both big guns were out. But Toronto goes in back-to-back in altitude and just goes nuts. This game was not as close as the score, 124-111. Toronto led throughout. A guy I picked up recently, Siakam, really happy with him. Had a great night. But let's start with their leader, Kyle Lowry, 29 minutes, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists. This guy is, Adrian, he is leading the league in assists by more than 2 assists than anyone else. We're used to seeing John Wall sort of have that lead dog role, and this year it's Lowry. He only took 9 shots, too, and made 3 3-pointers and had 2 steals. I love Lowry as a player, so happy for him. Valanciunas played 22 minutes, got the start tonight over Ibaka. We were talking about how is this going to play out. I guess it depends on the matchup. Tonight, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 of 2 from the line, 1 3-pointer, a steal and 2 blocks, so solid night there. The aforementioned Siakam, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists on 7-11 shooting, made both his free throws and 2 steals. This guy is sneaky in steals for someone who is a power forward. OG Anunoby played 25 minutes, 17 points and a rebound. And then Danny Green. I know this guy is good in fantasy, but I just don't like owning him because he does things like this. 7 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, only took 5 shots, 2 steals and a block. I know those numbers for steals and blocks are great. I'm just a sucker for the first line numbers, Adrian. Anyway, Ibaka, it looks like he fouled out in just 14 minutes of action. Did get 17 points, 5 rebounds, and assists. Made all his shots. I think he made 15 of 17 last night. Tonight he went 8 for 8. So over 2 games, I'm going to say he's 23 out of 25, which is crazy. Anyway, Toronto looks like the real deal. I know in the past we talk about the Western Conference Finals being the de facto championship. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think both Toronto and Boston can compete with Golden State as well as at least anyone in the West for that matter. I think they may be the second and third best team out there. So anyway, what are your thoughts on Toronto?
I want to note that Kawhi Leonard was ruled out of this one with an ankle injury. I think they're going to be pretty cautious with him. They already announced that he's going to sit back-to-backs for the rest of the season. So I wouldn't be surprised if he misses another game, if he's out maybe again on Wednesday. I think they're going to play the Kings on Wednesday. So I would expect him to maybe miss another game. But it sounds like Kawhi Leonard's injury is not serious. But yeah, we'll probably see him miss at least another game or so. Not too much else I want to talk about here. I think you pretty much covered everything, man. I'm going to go over onto the Utah Jazz side. And no Donovan Mitchell in this one. Had that ankle injury in the last game, even though we saw him come back. I'm kind of actually happy that they're keeping him out of this one. Let him fully recover and get to 100%. So it was Royce O'Neal getting the start. Only put up 11 points in 19 minutes. I don't think we're really paying much attention to him. Rudy Gobert with a nice double-double, 14 points, 12 rebounds, a block, a steal, 2 assists, 6 and 9 from the field. It's a nice game. Joe Ingles, the shot wasn't there tonight. 3 of 13 from the field for 9 points, a steal, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. But he should be okay. Ricky Rubio, who I thought would probably get the biggest bump with no Donovan Mitchell. His shot was not falling tonight as well. Only shot 1 of 10 for 8 points, 1 steal, 9 assists. And so not a good game tonight shooting-wise for this Utah team. Derek Favors had a double-double with 11 points, 10 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks. And the bench, we saw Alec Burks here providing a spark off the bench, 22 points, 3 assists, 2 threes tonight, 7 of 11 from the fields. Pretty good game from him. Crowder adding 12 points off the bench. Nice game there. Not too much else to talk about, Neil. Dante Exum is pretty quiet. No one else really helping out here. What do you think of the Jazz?
Toronto has a very good defense on the wing, so this may be an effect this poor shooting is not just a bad night, just good defense as well. Yeah, Ingles will be fine. One guy I did pick up, and I'm still really bullish on, is Jay Crowder. Tonight only played 23 minutes, partly because this is a blowout. He took 11 shots, though. He didn't make a single three-pointer, 0 of 6. I think he's a fine 3-and-D guy. If you need points, three-pointers, and maybe a steal, he can be serviceable. Yeah, nights like this from Rubio are frustrating. I'm good to see him with the 9 assists, though, with Mitchell out. Royce O'Neal, I'm not really buying his starter's role in terms of fantasy value. And Grayson Allen, yeah, I don't know what to say about him. I haven't seen him play that much. I've seen Dante Exum much more, and I like Dante Exum's game. It's just not really translating to fantasy yet. I think that does us for the early slate of games, or at least the early middle. Yep.
I'm showing one more game.
Oh, I missed the game. I'm sorry. You're right.
Wait, did we cover the Miami Heat
and
the Detroit Pistons? No, all right, it was your turn to miss a game.
Oh, gosh,
normally it's me. Hey guys, normally it's me every night, either missing a game or wanting to do the same game twice. So, all right, I'm gonna jump into this, man. I'm going to go with the Miami Heat, and the reason is Whiteside was out with the knee injury. Neil, I'm kind of concerned, man. He's had a history of knee issues, other injuries. I'm actually kind of happy that Bam Adebayo had a quiet night, because now I think I can maybe grab him off the wire in some deep leagues without any trouble. 11 points, 3 steals, a block, 8 rebounds. Played 29 minutes. I think he's the guy that you might want to pick up if Whiteside's going to miss time. We're not hearing that the Whiteside injury is anything serious, but I don't know, man. I think it could be worth a flyer just to see what happens. And then Kelly Olynyk is the other guy who could benefit here. 13 points, 4 assists, a steal, a block in 24 minutes. He added 3 threes. He could actually be the pickup here, Neil. Josh Richardson continuing his breakout year, 27 points, 2 blocks, 4 assists, 8 rebounds, 3 threes, 11 to 21. Neil, yesterday I talked about how Karis LeVert might be the front runner for most improved. I think we could maybe put Josh Richardson in that category as well, man. He has been spectacular to start the year. Justice Winslow, a guy who I've been keeping an eye on. The shot wasn't there tonight, only shot 3 of 10. But what I like is he got 35 minutes, and I just love that he got 10 shots in the offense. Meaning, if that shot was just falling a little bit, this would be a really nice line with 9 points, 3 steals, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, filling it up all over, even added a 3. I got my eye on him in deeper leagues. I think in standard leagues, we're not making a move on him. But, Neil, I play in a lot of 14-team leagues where it's dire out there on the wire. I think I might be picking him up in 1 or 2 of those leagues. Dragic, love to see this line from him. 21 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, a block, a 3, 7 to 18 from the field. Just a beautiful game from him. Rodney McGruder, shot wasn't there tonight with 8 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, but still getting the minutes. I love that Winslow's back. Ellington as well is back. He only saw 4 minutes, but they're still going with McGruder. So that's a really good sign for all you guys that picked him up. Not too much else to talk about. What do you think? I guess I should mention D Wade, 18 points in 29 minutes. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Heat?
Yeah, like we said about Adebayo, I think if there's extended time, he's worth owning in standard leagues, 12-team or even 10-team leagues maybe. He could be defensive stats. He'll get 3 steals and a block, 11 points, 8 rebounds. Winslow is someone I've streamed this week. I think Miami plays 4 games, so I picked him up. Unfortunately, he doesn't really shoot well historically, so this 3 of 10 may not get a whole lot better. And the 2 of 4 from the line will hurt you as well. Good to see, like you said, McGruder seems to still be in the favor of that team, even with some other guys who could provide help for this team. So Dwayne Wade is just someone who's just going to show up when he wants to show up. So I wasn't really looking at that. And Josh Richardson is a great fantasy player and real life player. So happy for this guy to get 21 shots. He's also their primary defender on the wing. This guy is like Jimmy Butler 2.0, I think. So 27 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Anything else before I go to Detroit? What do you think?
You just made me think of this. It is so cool how we see these guys for a while, like Josh Richardson and Karis LeVert, who were just like on the cusp of breaking out, and we're seeing them become the alpha of their team. As you mentioned, Jay Rich getting 21 shots, which is far and away the most on this team. It's clear he is the go-to guy on this team. And it's so cool to see him and Karis LeVert make that transition as the number one go-to guy. And I love to see it, man. It's so great. One last thought. I normally would make a big deal about maybe picking up Adebayo or Olynyk, but I think just because Whiteside has had that history, I'm making a speculative ad. Only in deep leagues. In standard leagues, we're not making a move yet. All right.
Yeah, I shouldn't say make a move yet. I should say if he starts, he's worth owning. I should say that big caveat. All right, on the Detroit side, Blake Griffin. Well, gosh, who do I start with? I guess Griffin. 24 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists. 2 3-pointers, a steal. Andre Drummond, one-upping Enes Kanter, 25 points, 24 rebounds, 3 assists. Just 3 of 9 from the line, though. That's unfortunate. A steal and a block. Reggie Jackson, Adrian, who I dropped tonight, had 25 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 of 4 from the line, 3 3-pointers, and a steal. I've got 3 point guards in a league, and they're all injured. And so I'm trying to figure out who to stream in between. So whoever I pick is going to have the off night. And then, let's see, Glenn Robinson got the start. This guy was someone I was watching in preseason. I've always had a little thing for him. Tonight, 16 points, 2 rebounds, 2 3-pointers. He's a good shooter, 6 of 12 today from the field, 2 of 2 from the line, and a steal and 2 blocks. I don't know if this is a harbinger of things to come. I don't know if they're... Reggie Bullock was inactive, so that's probably a big reason why he got that. And Stanley Johnson is just no longer starting. And so is it Bruce Brown Jr., the other guard, just played 12 minutes and didn't really produce. So off the bench, Langston Galloway had a big night, 35 minutes, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Another watch list guy, not making a move yet. Ish Smith, someone who's just not worth owning, in my opinion, in most leagues. Yeah, I guess what I take away is I'm going to watch what's going on with the wing rotation in Detroit. It's kind of been a dead zone for fantasy value. I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon, but certainly watching it. And then, I don't know. What do you think about Reggie Jackson? Should I pick him up and start him so next game I can throw something against the window when he doesn't produce?
Oh man, I think it's going to be real up and down, man. And this team, it could be Ish Smith the next night. And so I think he does need to be owned, but you just got to plug him in and get the averages, because he'll have nights like tonight where he puts up 25 points. So he's one of those guys kind of similar to Danny Green, where you just leave him in. And, Danny Green struggled tonight, but tomorrow should have a good line. And so you just live with those peaks and those downward trends, and you hope to just take that average where it's somewhere in the middle. But I love your take on keep an eye on Glenn Robinson III, man. I mean, he's a guy I have had my eye on, just hoping he would get some minutes, and we finally saw it here tonight. If he puts up another game or two like this, I think we might need to jump on him. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah, if he was getting a starter's role, I would love him. I'd take him as my 3-and-D guy in a heartbeat.
Yeah. You made a good point. No Reggie Bullock tonight, so I think we don't know when Reggie Bullock was a starter and getting a heavy minute. So I think we got to take this game a little bit with a grain of salt and see how it looks when he gets back. But as you mentioned, Stanley Johnson looks like he's on the outs, man. 14 minutes tonight without Reggie Bullock. he looks like, I hate to say it, Neil, but I think we can officially label him a bust. I don't think it's going to happen for him at all. All right, man. That's all I got. Any last thoughts on this game?
I mean, just the last thing on Stanley Johnson. Yeah, he would need a change. He's gone through a couple of different coaching regimes. Maybe if he gets a change of venue, a different environment, his career can be revived somehow. But so far, yeah, it looks like he maybe has one opportunity left, and then, unfortunately, it may not work out for him in the NBA. That's all I got.
I'm going to get going, guys. There's one last game that Neil is going to is there 2 games?
There's 2 games. Don't worry.
Sorry.
I'll get both. Yeah.
There's 2 games that Neil's going to get you guys updated. Neil, please try to say some good things about JJJ for me. You guys hit me up at Twitter, at Adrian Benjamins. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Neil will be back.
All right, going off to the last 2 games of the evening. Golden State Downs, Memphis, 117-101. Pretty competitive game. Golden State got into a workable margin in the second half and kind of then stretched it out, or just was comfortable through the end. Wasn't really tight down the stretch, but Memphis put up a good showing the first half. Looking at that ledger, Marc Gasol played 28 minutes, 8 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 of 4 from the line. Only took 2 field goals attempts. On top of that, had a block. Conley, another quiet night from him, 9 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists, just took 8 shots and had a block. A lot of the scoring came from a lot of different places. But sticking with the starters, Jaren Jackson Jr. played 32 minutes, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, took 15 attempts, was 50%, 3 of 6 from the line, missed all his 3-pointers, had 4 blocks though. Kyle Anderson in 29 minutes, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, took 5 shots, got 4 steals. So pretty good fantasy-wise, even though it looks pretty weak with the 4 steals, the 2 for 2 from the line, the 5 assists. Not bad there, although those lines kind of frustrate me. Garrett Temple made 13 points, had no rebounds, had 1 assist, a 3-pointer, 2 steals. I think he's still not someone I am looking to pick up. I think they're guys who can take a lot more shots if you're looking for someone to put in 3-pointers. Usually the easiest category to find the waiver wire. Shelvin Mack, someone that we've a little bit talked about and perhaps we're watching tonight. Played 24 minutes, did score 15 points on 10 shots, made 5 of them, had 3 assists, a rebound, 2 3-pointers, and 2 steals and a block. A pretty solid fantasy night for a bench player. I'm still watching him in 12-team leagues. I'm not adding him yet. Marshawn Brooks played 20 minutes, got 11 points. Dylan Brooks played 19 minutes, got 15 points. And they had some ancillary stats, but not much else to talk about or worth looking at in standard leagues. This team is really, I think Shelvin Mack, if you're in deeper league, is someone you can pick up. I mean, if you're in 14 or deeper, Marshawn Brooks and Dylan Brooks, I don't know if they're owned yet. I would still watch them in those size leagues. On to Golden State side, Draymond Green, I am assuming he got injured. I am apologizing for that, but I will start off with Kevin Durant, 32 minutes, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 8 of 8 from the free throw line, a steal. Steph Curry, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 3-pointers, a steal and a block. Kind of quiet nights from those guys, expecting more, but still very strong fantasy lines. Klay Thompson had the big night, scoring 27 points on 3 3-pointers, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 of 2 from the line, a steal. Off the bench, Alfonso McKinney, someone who has been getting some decent minutes recently, and 27 tonight, 11 last game, but 27 and 17 before. Golden State is so hard to know outside their big guys who to trust, so hold off on him. He did score 14 points, though, with 2 rebounds, 3 assists on 9 shots. Draymond Green did not score on just 1 attempt, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. I am now searching for news on him. He left in the first half suffering an injury, but he did check back into the game shortly thereafter and then did not come back in. it looks like it's not very serious, so it looks like it said he'll be good to go for next game, so nothing to worry about. Just unfortunately, he got injured and put up a really rough line tonight. Not much else, I think, to add to that team. Unless you own their starters, it's really hard to know the role players or who's going to get usage and put up fantasy value on a night-to-night basis. Yes, so I would hold off on those players. Okay, the Clippers down Minnesota 120 to 109. Pretty much across the board, good stats for Minnesota. Karl Anthony Towns, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 blocks, 3 steals. A phenomenal night, actually, fantasy-wise. Butler, kind of quiet for him, but did put up 20 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, a block, and a steal. Derrick Rose getting the start at point guard, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. I think he's very streamable if he's out there. Though he's someone I'm a little cautious on picking up myself, but I think the numbers will bear it out until Teague comes back. Wiggins, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. And Taj Gibson fouled out, but did get 32 minutes and got 15 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 2 steals. All these guys are worth owning. Off the bench, not much to speak about from Okogie tonight, or Okogie, excuse me, if that's how it's pronounced. 7 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. And then Jang, Tyus Jones, Tolliver played limited minutes as well. Stream Derrick Rose if you have the availability. Taj Gibson still looks like he is going to be playing at the power forward. I thought this might be more of a split with Tolliver. Clearly not working out that way so far, and Wiggins is putting up respectable fantasy value. On the LA Clippers side, Danilo Gallinari, 31 minutes, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets the start. Plays 24 minutes, gets 6 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, and 1 steal in 24 minutes. I am not adding him yet. I actually liked him more when he was coming off the bench in terms of sort of thinking about picking him up. I just do not think he has this. He's going to get the usage or the shot attempts or the assist value to be owned in a standard team league just yet. Although I think he's going to have a promising career in the NBA and fantasy in year 2, or if some reason they go into tank mode. Boban, another person who got the start and is should be streamed. Gortat has some injury that's not really being talked about from what I can see and is out. Boban played 18 minutes, got 10 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. Perfect from the line. Beverly, 39 minutes, and just barely put up fantasy value with 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 3-pointers, no steals, no blocks. Montrezl Harrell, 30 minutes. I think he is going to be probably the best front court player in addition to the guy who I have not talked about yet, their leader. But let's go with Harrell first. 30 minutes, 13.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, and a block. The steals are kind of high tonight. He is going to be fine in field goal percentage. Rebounds and points will be decent. I think really, really helps. She's going to be in blocks. Just one tonight. They get 3 steals. Not something I think we'll see a lot of, but good to see that. He will hurt you in free throw percent, 1 of 2 tonight. He is shooting about 69% on the year, 68%. I think he'll be somewhere between 60% to 66% this year is what I'm expecting. Tobias Harris is the one I forgot to talk about. Had a solid night as he has been all season. 22 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists on 8 of 16 shooting, 4 3-pointers and a steal. And I would not sell high on him. I think he's going to be at wherever he is, which I believe is in around 30th for the rest of the season. In fantasy, off the bench, Lou Williams had 27 minutes and scored 20 points, had 6 assists, took 17 shots. So he took the most shots on the team coming off the bench, something we're kind of accustomed to. Made all his free throws, 5 of 5, and a 3-pointer and a block. Someone who will get you points, assists, good free throw percentage off the bench. And if people have been down on him this year, I think he's going to be just fine. I was worried as well with the backcourt, but he seems to be getting plenty of usage, and I don't think Shea's going to overtake him in that category. So takeaways, Beverly, unfortunately, someone I had hopes on coming into this year, I don't think is worth owning in 12-team leagues. Tobias Harris, I would hold. Gallinari, if you can sell high on him, I would do it. I think injuries are more likely than not for him, just given his history. But most people who play fantasy for a while probably know that. Montrezl Harrell, someone who I think should be owned, but towards the 150. He's right in the 80s, 90s range, I believe. And he may, if he gets a starting role, he may get a little bit higher, but I think it's probably more around 100 in value, just to be on the safe side. Not sure what's going on with Gortat and what his role will be if he comes back. And it doesn't look like Harrell's going to get the starting job, even if that's the case. It looks like it's Boban's for now. All right, that's going to do it for tonight, October the 5th, and we'll be back with you tomorrow.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.